Hey, my name is Emily Rose, and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. In my first video that I posted for BookTube, I talked about how I really am into self-help books and the way that they've kind of helped me to shape my way of thinking, and I just feel like they've helped me a lot. I learned something from all of them, and I just kind of wanted to pass some of my favorites along to you. And if you watch this and you're a female and think that there are more books that should be on here, please let me know, and I would love to check them out and hear about what your suggestions are. If you've also made a video like this, please make sure to let me know, because I'm always watching personal development videos and wanting to read and learn more about that. So this list is basically going to be more geared towards female books that I have read that have helped me, so more so gearing them towards females to watch and read. There are certainly lots of books that are wonderful for both sexes, but this video in particular is geared towards books for females. So I'll just get into it. I'm just gonna talk about 5 of my favorites. So yeah, I'll just get into it. So the first book that I feel like I wish I had read when I was 13 years old, like basically during the time that you start getting interested in boys or females or whatever, whoever you're interested in, it's a wonderful thing to kind of know what they're looking for, how not to be too eager. So my first book that I would have to recommend is Why Men Love Bitches. If I'm ever talking to one of my girlfriends, if they are having relationship issues or dating issues or whatever, I always recommend this book because I think that it teaches you, gives you tips on not being too desperate. I don't think that enough people talk about that. So Why Men Love Bitches, on the front it says, "From Doormat to Dream Girl, a woman's guide to holding her own in a relationship." And it's listed as one of the 10 most iconic relationship books of the past 10 years. And men were actually interviewed in this book. I can't even like summarize the book without like telling you that you have to read this book if you have not yet. Just because after I read this the first time, I sort of felt like a moron for the way that I had acted in the past, and I just learned so much. So, I definitely recommend this book. My second book that is one of my absolute favorites. I think I discovered SARC in my senior year of high school, and during my senior year I was having a very tough time. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin and honestly felt angry, and when I discovered this book and this author, I basically read everything that she has to say. It totally changed my life. So I actually wrote something down that was written on a summary of her. It says, if it just makes you interested in the author. So, the irrepressible Sark lives in a magic cottage in San Francisco, where she creates books that reveal how people can freely express themselves and in the process achieve a richer, more succulent life. There's all different chapters in here, obviously, and let me just give you some examples of, I'll just show you like her artwork in her book. She actually does all of this herself. And it's succulent wild woman dealing Dancing with Your Wonderful Self. And the definition of succulent: ripe, juicy, whole, round, exuberant, wild, rich, wide, deep, firm, rare, female. It's just, I just definitely recommend this book. If you have never checked out Sark or heard of Sark, please check her out in the bookstore and just look through some of her different books. This woman is for sure magical, and I think I get now a lot of my eccentricity, is that the word that I'm looking for, I think, from her. And if you feel a little bit lost in your life, or like your life is boring, pick up one of her books, because she's the lady to get you out of that. So yeah, Sark. Light is the New Black. I do not have that sitting here because I listened to it on Audible, but there will be a picture of it. So I listened to this book on Audible, and I actually had a copy of it, but one of my girlfriends, her boyfriend passed away, and I actually took that book to her while she was dealing with that grief and loss. And I'm so happy that I did, but I have yet to replace that copy. But the Audible version is lovely because it is read by the author, Rebecca Campbell. She's Australian. She's got the most beautiful accent, and she's just the woman to read these words to you. It's just like a summary of it is a quote that I liked about it is to follow what lights you up, and you'll light up the world. It will guide you back home to the callings of your soul, so you can light up the world with your presence. So I just I think that it's important for us to read things that encourage you to be you, and it's kind of a theme of the books that I'm talking about here so far. We have to be more comfortable being ourselves and like being you out in the world, and she just does such a wonderful job at telling stories from her past. And definitely, if you have Audible, I highly recommend getting this and listening to it. It is just wonderful. Okay, so this is more of a financial book, but I still think that it's super important for females to kind of take ownership of that and know more about what's going on in your financial world, especially if you're young. Not especially if you're young, but I feel like young people don't think as much about their finances. And I know that the first time that I read this book, I've read most of these books several times now, but it's an important thing to get a handle on and to think about, because when we're young, we don't really think that it's necessary to get all that under control now, but it is. And so the next book that I recommend for females to read is Smart Women Finish Rich by David Bach. It's 9 steps to achieving financial security and funding your dreams. I don't believe that this book is available on Audible, so I read, or maybe it is. I honestly don't know, but I've only read the copy of it. So Smart Women Finish Rich has shown women of all ages and backgrounds how to take control of their financial future and finish rich. Whether you're working with a few dollars a week or a significant inheritance, Bach's 9-step program gives you tools for spending wisely, establishing security, and aligning money with your values. It's, again, just a good thing for you to kind of consider and think about. There are, again, lots of stories in here of women who their husband passed away, and they had no idea where, like, what any of the financial assets that they had. They just had no idea. And it's always nice to read things like this too, because it kind of encourages you that you are, no matter how much money you're making, what's important is that you're setting some of it aside for your future. And you really have more opportunities to do that than you maybe consider or think about if you don't read something along these lines. So I definitely encourage it. And I'm also always looking for good financial management books as well. So if you have any other suggestions like that, please let me know. And last but not least on this list, and most of the videos that are on here about books to read, to like good personal development books, this is on there, and it's for a very good reason, and that's You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And her humor is just makes it very easy to get into something like this, especially if you're not like into the hippy dippy type of self-help books or whatever. She kind of sort of pokes fun at hippy dippy type books, just like Who She Used to Be kind of makes you relate better to who she is now, and how it's You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. She just has so many good little stories in here. And yeah, You Are a Badass is the self-help book for people who desperately want to improve their lives but don't want to get busted doing it. So I just cannot say enough good things about this book. I've probably listened to it, read it probably 10 times, and I still, like, in my day-to-day life, sometimes I find myself like thinking of a specific part in this book. I definitely recommend listening to it as well, because she actually reads the Audible version as well, and it's really, she's got a fun and unique personality. A fun and unique personality is Jen Sincero. But yeah, so this is my fifth and final book. Those are just some of my personal favorites and books that I recommend to you if you have not read these books already and you're kind of looking for something to inspire you, or just looking to read kind words, things that will help you along your way. And yeah, again, if you have any suggestions as well for good self-help, personal finance, personal development books, please let me know, because those are some of my favorite things to read. And thanks for watching. I will talk to you next time.